So I've been getting this error message on my Pokémon Emerald for Game Boy Advance, and I just learned there's an internal battery inside the actual game cartridge. Well, let's replace it. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Out of Sync Gaming channel. I'm Mike Maldi, and without any further delay, let's get started. You're gonna need several tools to perform this repair. Of course, your Pokemon game, a tabbed CR1616 battery. You're going to need a soldering iron, some flux. You're gonna need your soldering base with the wet sponge. I'm using the solder that came with the kit. You're gonna need a tri-wing screwdriver, some tweezers or something to pry the battery off with. You're gonna need some soldering wick. I have a soldering suction thing that came with my kit, so we're gonna try that out. I'm excited to do this. I've never done this before, and I hope my game works afterwards. So here we go. Forgot to mention you're gonna need some rubbing alcohol and some cotton swabs. Let's get started. All right, what we need to do first with our Pokemon Emerald game is remove the tri-wing screw from the back of the cart. Make sure you place your screw in a safe place. You don't want to lose this. You're going to push down on the front of the cart to expose the PCB. This should just pop off. And there we have it. Ooh, that battery is corroded. Definitely needs replacing. All right, remove the PCB from the cart. And we're going to want to secure our PCB board. I'm using painter's tape. Figured it wouldn't hurt it, so I pushed that down onto my work area. I'm taking my tweezers and I'm putting them just under the battery so it's already ready to go. Taking a little flux and applying it to the pad where the positive side of the battery is placed. Once the old solder is melted, the battery should come apart. This battery is quite old, so the tab wasn't even connected anymore. Now I'm just trying to remove that tab from the negative side so we can start with a fresh, clean slate for our new battery. And voila. Now we need to go ahead and clean off this old solder. So I'm gonna take some more flux and melt it. And then I'm gonna use my suction thing that came with my soldering kit and get as much off as possible. It would probably be easier to use soldering wick if you have it, but I'm just gonna use what I have. This suction device wasn't the easiest thing to use, but I was surprised at how well it did work in the end. But again, wick would be a lot easier, I'd imagine. All right, take your battery and notice that one side is a positive side. It should be labeled. Now I need to make sure that the positive side of the battery goes to the positive pad on the PCB. And the negative to the negative, obviously. I put a little solder onto the pads already. And the reason for this, I'm gonna tack down the positive side of the battery just enough to hold it, and then I'll work on the negative side. Now that that's tacked down, we need to solder the negative side to the pad. Take a little flux, add a little solder, melt it. I've never done this before and I found it pretty easy. Hopefully I did it right. Don't judge me too much in the comments. But I just made sure it was all melty and secure. Good enough, I think. Now back to the positive side. I want to go ahead and remelt the solder I had on there. Once I had it all melty, I just held it down with my tweezers under the solder until it cooled. I took some rubbing alcohol on a cotton swab and I'm cleaning the connector pins of the cart. Since I'm in here, might as well do that. I'm also cleaning any remaining flux residue from the PCB. And now I think we're good to reassemble. Before we reassemble, I'm going to clean the inside of the cart out. It was quite dirty, especially where the battery was because of the corrosion. All right, time to reassemble. Place your PCB back in the cart and put the front of the cart on. It should reassemble pretty easily. Just how you took it off, push it back up, and it should come back together. Take that screw you placed in a safe space and twist it back on with your tri-wing screwdriver. All right, now it's time to test it out and hope we don't get a clock-related error message. If we don't, then the battery replacement was successful. Okay, moment of truth. Nintendo logo is a good sign. Okay, good. The game's on. Yes. No clock-related error message. Battery replacement's a success. And I can enjoy this Pokemon game now. If you enjoyed this tutorial, give this video a like, subscribe for more content like this, and check out the Out of Sync Gaming podcast here on YouTube. And for your nostalgia, I leave you with the opening sequence to Pokémon Emerald. Thanks for watching.